And another community that was hit over the weekend is on the west side, North Ridgeville. Lou, investigators say you should never assume that your neighborhood is safe from this type of crime, because as we know, it can happen anywhere.
Yeah, it can and it does. Jack, thank you.
Sure.
The college athletes in Ohio will soon be compensated for representing their school or university.
Without these guidelines, Ohio colleges and universities will have a harder time attracting student athletes who could go elsewhere, and have a chance to make money on their name, image, and likeness.
Governor Mike DeWine signed an executive order today allowing college athletes in Ohio to profit off their name, image, and likeness. Other states are also looking into similar legislation. Just last week, Kentucky's governor also issued an executive order to make it happen. A good news tonight on the vaccine front. Scientists say the Pfizer and Moderna shots could offer protection for years. The findings by researchers at Washington University also add to growing evidence that most immunized people won't need a booster shot. Researchers studied 41 vaccinated people for 15 weeks to gather the data. Ultimately, they found the number of memory cells recognizing the virus had not declined after 3 months. It is a positive sign the vaccines offer long-term protection against COVID-19, but that's only true so long as variants don't continue to evolve rapidly, and researchers say there are no guarantees. Cedar Point will return to full capacity this week, thanks in part to a big pay increase for workers.
But not everybody in Sandusky sees the change as a good idea. Fox 8's Maya Belai joins us live with what people there are saying. Maya.
Well, small business owners say they can't compete with Cedar Point, especially now that the park is paying employees $20 an hour. It's a job that now pays better than ever before, $20 an hour for Cedar Point employees. The successful hiring campaign allowed the park to resume regular operations, and starting July 1st, capacity limits will be lifted. But the boost in pay at the park is putting the pinch on small businesses nearby.
It's absolutely a struggle. You have locally, you have Cedar Point that bumped up their rate to $20 an hour, which we're not getting the food runners, the hostess, the summer help for us, and that's really hurting us there.
The owner of Barra Tacos and Cocktails says hiring remains a struggle.
We have given all of our employees a 10% raise a few months ago to try to get it up there, but we can't do $20 an hour. It's just not feasible.
Just down the street at Daly's Pub, the manager says employees did not leave for other jobs.
It's going really well. It's picked up. It's going crazy. It's really good.
But they also admit it's tough to compete with Cedar Point's wage hike.
Some of the younger kids that would get a job normally over the summers for us are going to go there for $20 an hour, and I don't blame them, but it is hard for the small business.
Tourism in the city continues to boom, even with a shortage of some area workers.
That wage increase did help them accomplish their goals, but it also had the effect of raising rates throughout the region, so it has provided a little bit even more competition.
Competition some employers hope will begin to even out soon.
That's the question, the million-dollar question. We don't know.
Now, some businesses here are offering incentives to lure workers, like pay hikes, cash incentives, and of course bonuses. Everyone trying to compete with the biggest employer in town this season and every season, and that's Cedar Point.
And like the man said, Maya, $1 million question, and as you certainly found out today, no easy answers, are there?
No, but it does appear that this wage hike will be here for the foreseeable future. Don't know about next season just yet, but people, they want to be paid. And I guess if you want workers, at this point you're going to have to make some pretty drastic changes to attract people.
Well, certainly a pretty big incentive to work at Cedar Point. Maya, thank you so much.
All right, I was away last week, came back to a lawn, the grass was this tall. So unfortunately I had to mow today, and boy, did I find out how sticky it was, my goodness.
Absolutely, cutting the grass this time of the year, mine was too, no excuse, I wasn't away. It really was, and especially if you're trying to bag it, right?
Which I did.
And you weren't out there cutting the grass today. I wasn't either. It's just too hot to do stuff like that.
It sure was sweltering, as they say in the business. And welcome back.
Yes, missed you.
To Louis Alfred Maglio.
back.
And it is great to have you. The newsroom was so quiet.
That's a good thing, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I really missed you. I think everybody did. The mayor of the newsroom. All right, here's a look at our time lapse right now, and you can see the sunshine from today boiling the atmosphere. We bubbled up some thunderstorms, and if you were watching Andre last hour, he was actually tracking severe thunderstorms at one point. There you see the little storm clusters showing up on Storm Fox. We'll zoom into the severe thunderstorm complex from earlier, and very briefly producing some strong winds out here from Twinsburg, and those moving up into central Geauga County, perhaps passing over just to the southwest of Middlefield down toward Aurora, perhaps, and south of Chesterland into Russell, and north of Hiram. Those storms have since moved off toward the north and east, and we now have another cluster here south of the Lake Erie Islands, it looks like, down into Bellevue and along the interstate. Boy, that's no fun driving the turnpike right now, especially with a very good deluge of water coming down on the turnpike. No fun. Precip amounts over the last 24 hours, unless you got under a pretty good gully washer, not too much rain, but you can see here in central parts of Geauga County, that's upwards of about 2 inches of rain in a very short period of time, maybe even around Solon too, and just to the northeast of Hudson. There are the very isolated storms that cropped up in the heat of this very hot day, and since then you can really see them quiet down. Look at that. Clear skies once again. Will be partly to mostly clear tonight. Lots of stormy weather. Chicago south and west towards St. Louis. Those storms not expected to move east just yet, but there is some rain coming and quite a weather change, as you'll see in the 8-day here coming up. 90 degrees, our first one in 305 days. The last time was August 27th. I hope I did the math right there. 83, the normal high, 101 degrees, the record high on this date that was set back in 1944, and ironically 49 in 1988, because back on June 25th we set our all-time record high back in 1988 as well. So, okay, turnabout being fair play. Sunrise 5:57. We lose another minute of daylight actually in the front end of the day, setting though at 9:05. Let's have a look at the numbers for tomorrow, and the temperature is expected to soar. Look at this. Low to mid 90s tomorrow afternoon. High humidity levels could likely propel our heat index values into the triple digits tomorrow. Over 100-degree feels-like numbers. So we'll be looking at that tomorrow. That'll be the hottest day we have. Right now, 88 Garfield Heights, 78. You can tell this is rain-cooled air out here in Maple Heights. 82 Independence, 84 at Lakewood, 89 Strongsville. North Olmsted, 92 degrees right now. We'll look out into Lake County, 81 Mentor, Painesville the same, and down at Kirtland, you're looking at 76 right now. These are the heat index values currently, and again, we expect these temperatures, feels-like numbers, which is a combination of the temperature and humidity levels, will be at least in the upper 90s for tomorrow. It's hot air, and a lot of it, over the Ohio Valley. This front, while quasi-stationary now, will eventually be producing some thunderstorms as it marches through. Best chances for rain actually coming up Wednesday and Thursday. We're jacking up the potential into the 80 to 90% range. So if you haven't had a whole lot of rain, and it's been arid over some backyards, there is potential here that you'll pick up some decent rainfall. So we'll wake up tomorrow with temperatures in the low 70s, very high humidity levels. Watch what happens as tomorrow afternoon, temps into the 80s. We're looking at highs into the mid-80s, it looks like, on Wednesday. 73 tonight, cloudy, at least partly cloudy, then eventually clear skies. there's the highest probability for rain Wednesday, Thursday. Look at the temperatures, guys, as we move into the big holiday weekend, back into the 70s.
Much more pleasant and not oppressive. We'll take it.
Thank you, AJ. Loss to the Twins on Sunday was the least of the Indians' concerns. Up next here tonight, JT has an update on Josh Naylor's tough injury, including how long he could be gone.
Prices at the pump continue to skyrocket. Which part of Northeast Ohio has the lowest prices in the entire state?